What is happening, y'all? Welcome back to the fourth part of the walkthrough. So we are going to bring Yakumo along. But continuing on, let's head back to the park ruins. We're going to take down this boss and then knock out a number of side quests. Looking through my notes, I realized that the reason I still don't have Flame Weapon is because Flame Weapon is tied to after the Butterfly boss. So, unfortunately, no Flame Weapon for the Butterfly boss. But anyway, so we're going to continue on this way. Already went and restored the Mistle by haste. Die. So after you kill those guys, head this way. You head on up to this fatty. This fatty is actually guarding Prometheus Part B. While I was trying to get Flame Weapon, I came over and investigated her, thinking it was this without looking farther ahead. So anyway, come over, beat the fatty down. Prometheus Part B will be right here on the ground. Pick that up. I've already skipped through the cutscenes for it, but we're not using any of those abilities anyway. And then coming up, we have the Butterfly of Delirium. Now, Rotten Mistle will be right here. You see that we already got it. But the Butterfly will poison you. Since she is weak to fire damage, you could run Firestorm. My willpower is pretty bad.
Before we go.
This build, I mean, it's kind of bad with everything but a caster. So if you're really struggling, you could use caster and use fire spells. We're going to try and just kill it as a strength build. So we're going to buff on up and get in. Having anti-venom and anti-venom resistance will help a ton in this fight, as this boss is all about poisoning you. You can already see just how much damage she can do. She'll have stun phases where she's down like that. It's the best time to get damage in. I need to have my Zweihander back on.
How's this? Much obliged. Get ready. Watch the generation. Bring it anytime. You're a godsend.
You can see how annoying the poison is. So, let's go back in and hit her again.
No harm in being prepared.
I'm gonna just run past this stuff.
Ready for this? It's a big help.
The biggest thing here is whether or not you can get the damage in before she poisons you into oblivion.
Thanks, friend. Bring it in.
Go to medium rolls just to make this a little bit easier.
Still regenerate some. No harm in being prepared. You're out of field. Be cautious. How's this? You're a godsend. Stay focused. time. No harm in being fly, bring it anytime.
And there we go. So yeah, switching to a faster weapon obviously makes that fight a lot easier. And that's kind of one of the downsides of playing as a strength build. You know, you're gonna run into circumstances where not being able to roll is kind of tricky. Obviously, that's why having a second sword that is a bit lighter is going to be quite nice. So if you run on over here, we get another cutscene. The human that guy was chasing is sitting in the corner. You offer to help her, blah, blah, blah. Restore that.
I thought of thing.
You can talk to her real fast. And then we're going to take this elevator on down. Now, the area that we're heading to now is essentially the third area of the game. We're not going to be doing it just yet. Instead, we're going to be going back to the area that we accessed after going down the pit. Essentially, we want to come here first, because this will fill on out the Prometheus blood code for us.
Hold on.
Sorry.
I'm on my way.
Got the cat wanting to climb onto my lap right now, of course.
The way is still narrow. Proceed with care.
Alright, so after we get here, you will gain access to another cutscene, and then after that cutscene, you will get the final part of Prometheus, which is what we were missing, that has the fire attack on it. Leave it to the game to give you the fire attack buff that a target is weak to after you kill the target, right? So there's Prometheus Vestige 1. Go ahead and rest at this mistle, just so we have it. And now we are going to teleport to the... Oh, wrong spot. We want to go to the parking garage. Well, actually, there's a couple quests we're going to do. Parking garage and outer crossroads, and then we will make our way to the Den of the Dead. So, all this is good to show, though. So you can see on the map now how we have a little person icon kind of standing over there. If you look on the mini-map, when we first zoned in, it was red and blinking. That is how you can tell that you have a side quest available. So, to the parking garage we go. Talk to him. This is the guy that was kidnapping the human. Just burn through his dialogue, and then he wants us to go back over to the park ruins. There's a fatty that he wants us to kill.
Red spot, no harm in
This thing's actually pretty strong, so even though it just looks like your typical fatty, it seems a bit stronger than your typical fatty.
Looks like we're in what used to be the suburbs. You have to take whatever you can use.
So kill that thing. We'll go back to him. And a lot of these side quests are multi-step, as in you'll need to visit that person. Like you'll see him here, you'll see him again later. But each of the side quests usually culminates into something that's quite nice, whether it's going to be an RV mastery that gives you access to a skill, or alternatively it could be a additional depth map. There's a couple different things you can get from doing all these, so it is worth doing them all. Talk to him. He's going to talk about how some loss surrounded him, and an invasion will happen. He's got to kill these couple guys. Even though the Zweihander has better blocking, I really like the moveset of this thing more. It's got nice wide sweeps that make it quite useful for taking out multiple enemies at once.
Sorry, I guess it's...
So he gave us an RV mastery. This one's kind of stupid. It just lets you throw out daggers.
Good, I think you'll...
So, alright, after his dialogue is done, we are going to head back to the base. And we're going to tackle the next steps, which is Den of the Dead. Now, this is kind of similar to the previous one we did. I'm going to be fighting past a couple of basic enemies that were in the previous zones.
What do you want to
upgrade my Slayer.
Okay, take care then.
And I go to inherit gifts. That I want. If you're playing one-handed, you absolutely want to save up and get one-handed sword mastery. All of the weapon mastery abilities are a 20% increase to your damage when using that weapon. A lot of this stuff is good. Savvy evasion is really nice. Strength and dex. Let me explain those passives real quick. So the way the passives work is they are going to increase your stats by 1 score. So that strength dex passive with this build would put me up to S strength and C dex. If it was a willpower passive, I would go up to C+. So your tiers are like C, C+, B, B+, A+, S. And the only real reason to use those would be if you need to meet the stat requirements for a weapon. So this weapon needing C, if I wanted to use that, because I only have D+ scaling, I would need to put on that strength dex up, or in general, just something that is a dex up passive. But I wouldn't suggest picking up those passives strictly for like damage gains. They're not really intended for that. Some stuff in Prometheus that is really good. Blade Dance is a really nice buff. And Eternal Blade Dance, when you can finally afford it, is very, very good. So anyway, now though, we force inherit Flame Weapon. Prometheus, max that out. Okay. And we will talk to Davis.
Fascinating. It would be an honor.
He's going to give us his blood code since we knocked out one of the depths. There's a couple things in it that are good, but it's, I don't know. I didn't play much with Hermes. I didn't think it was all that awesome.
It's unexplored territory.
Oh shit, I think I picked the wrong space. I was going through options so fast. Went to the wrong one. Nope, never mind. Looks like we did pick Den of the Dead. Great. Alright, so activate your missile. As always, maps to all of this stuff are in the very first line of the description. So if you want a map to kind of go along with, just to show off the Hermes stuff, there are some things that's nice in Hermes. You can get Revenant's Greed here. This is nice if you're trying to farm items. The spike type abilities are light scaling offensive options, so they're kind of more in line with like a strength build. The final one, Heroic Fang, is actually pretty nice, building up your charged drains. He has a strength up passive, but other than that, a lot of kind of niche use skills, just not really all that impressive. So now we're gonna spend our haze, level up a little bit. So we're gonna take the left path first. 2 guys we gotta kill, and then we'll pick up key number 2.
We lost her here. Bring it any time.
In general, the Zweihander is going to be a better choice against single targets, whereas your other greatsword is going to be better against multiple targets. We got 3 different guys up ahead, and they're guarding an RV mastery. This is probably also a good time to discuss resistances. So every different enemy in the game has different elemental resistances and different physical resistances. Some enemies may be weaker to crush, while some may be weaker to slash, some may be weaker to pierce. The best way to do this is going to be to essentially go up to an enemy, boop them with one of your abilities, see how much damage they take, and then boop them with the second ability and see how much damage they take. Tenacious Fang, which I think that is a drain after
Prepare
launch.
now, so you don't regret it
We'll
later.
put on you, I guess. Then we'll do resilient focus. Hit this up. You want to kill the side guys in this.
That's
So I was doing like 464 there. I was at 700 there, so. You know, in this case, well, and see, the thing is, this is a little uneven because the Zweihander is currently a +3 and it's fortified. But you'll want to fortify whatever your secondary weapon is as soon as you can. Obviously, a big thing is going to be getting Yakumo's gifts back up so that I have 10 points to get another Atlas fortification from him. So after that, we are going to go down this path, and we're going to come up on a fork. We're going to take a left, Hiker concentrate, and a big dude. Let Yakumo finish that off. On the other path, we have 2 more enemies, in addition to some chem light. Gonna
pick up something we can use.
There's our slimes. We have an invasion coming on up. Let's pick this back up. Grab that. For the invasions, I'd actually recommend kind of like staying right here. Anytime that you are near a ledge for an invasion, it's going to be really nice because you can essentially use the ledge to force stuff to kind of funnel into you. So it just makes it that much easier in my experience. Especially because we can kind of swing through like that.
Bring it anytime. No longer being prepared.
Grab all the goodies that they were dropped. Let's see. RV Mastery, Fortified Axe, Irons for pickups. Did that. Hermesane Invasion. And we will go around for the next mini boss as well as key number 1. This one.
Sorry. Moving out.
The main boss for this area is, it's just, what's his face again? Oliver. Same shit, new shoes.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, that R1 light attack combo, man, it's dirty. Knockdown potential from that just shreds everything. Really nice for hitting enemies that are climbing up off ledges too. Like if there's hangers, you can boop them with that as they're getting up, and it'll usually knock them off the ledge. But if they drop an item, it'll just be waiting there on the ledge for you. So now you can see we have the full thing mapped on out. Go beat down on Oliver. As a reminder, you can always come back down into these areas and farm them. Everything, even if you just want to farm the boss.
It's a big help.
Look at that. Look at the blocking, man. Pretty much as long as I got stamina, I can block anything he does. And that is why his way is so damn good. You shut down any damage that's coming at you. Now, obviously, against something like the butterfly boss, it's kind of a pain in the ass because, you know, it's not so much her raw damage that's killing you, but the poison that she's throwing out, which is obviously really irritating to deal with. But anything that's like a physical enemy that's sitting there swinging and hitting you, dunk all over it. So anyway, from here, we're going to head on back to the hub. Up in the next episode, we're going to be going into Howling Pit. But prior to that, I would suggest you upgrade some weapons.
What do you want to upgrade?
Well, you know what I want to upgrade. Where's it at? Where's my baby at? Yeah, beautiful. Personally, I really want to use Blanche Greatsword, but
Okay, take care then.
I feel like it wouldn't be a walkthrough experience if I was using items that were only available in the pre-order, but man, if you got this thing claps. Like, this thing got me through most of the game in my initial run, so instead we have to use its little brother, the Queenslayer Greatsword, which, to be fair, is lighter, so you're going to be quicker than it. Let's also check gifts, because if I can fortify that, it'll put its damage a lot more on par with the other one. I don't think he really cares about any of this. So each person does have a very specific gift they like. You can get, I want to say it's 5, 3, 2, or 1 points for a gift. In general, if you're unsure, you could just Google, you know, exchange gifts code vein, and there's like a Reddit post that already details out what gift each person wants. But I mean, in general, the two main ones that you're going to want are going to be Yakumo, which offers you fortification, and then Mia, which offers you drain, which will increase how quickly you're pulling an Ichor with your weapons. Besides that, the other stuff is more niche. I want to say he's paralysis, she's poison, she's slow. Louis is, I think, alleviation, which lowers weight. They're all, you know, kind of rare in how often you'd use them. But anyway, up next, we're going to be tackling the Howling Pit, a seemingly never-ending, slow swamp pit-like area that's nice and fun to go through, in addition to getting a bunch of things for Atlas. So make sure to stay tuned. We'll be tackling the pit in the next episode, and I'll see you guys then.